Hi everybody, my name is Sarah, Pearls of Wisdom and Food with Keto under 20, and I hope that all of you are well today. If you look at, let me see which podcast it came from. It came from the Dr. Westman podcast that I did. I see my hair was in that funky stage, so it might have been a couple of months ago. But the person's name is Crimson Runner to Jesus, and she posted Dr. Westman's link to his page 4. So if any of you didn't have it and want to have it, download it or print it out, there it is. I also had Googled it at one point, Dr. Westman's page 4, and was able to print it out. And because some people like to follow him. And, it's funny because I guess I go to Dr. Berg before I go to Dr. Westman, and other people would do the opposite. It's just in whose flavor you identify with or get the help that you need with. And for me, Dr. Berg is a no artificial sweetener person, and Dr. Westman allows them. And so it's in what works for you. And for me, it is not having something that didn't start in a chemical lab. I guess that's how I would best say it. So anyway, 6 or 7, 8 or 9, either, what works for you. Heck, if you're feeling better and you've lost your joint pain and you're sleeping better and you're not constipated and the scale is even moving and pants are fitting better and you're having some things that are on somebody's list or isn't on somebody's list, who cares? Certainly not me. And I just tell you what I do, and it's no artificial sweeteners. And I do my best with the ingredients. And when something suspicious comes up, I usually read up about it. And one of the things is the guar gum, even in organic products. I'm just not sure what that is. And when I was in Whole Foods the other day, last week, when I was doing my round the town shopping expedition for organic and grass-fed, I did see a Bob's Red Mill guar gum bag there. So it is for thickening, and I just don't know where it kind of comes from. I mean, is there a guar tree someplace? I don't know. It's how deep you want to go with what you put in your body. So today is my first day back to normal. I'm not saying sane, am I? As I can, normal routine, not normal Sarah. How's that? Which means how it began. Well, I had 8 hours sleep, and then I had my fast walk in the dark, and I listened to Diane Parham, the Intermittent Fasting for Aging Women podcast, and got that under my belt, came home, had a shower, watching my hair just kind of curl up and frizz up in the humidity. I will take care of that with an iron in a few. And I will go to my 12-step meeting. And then I will go to the rec center and do my 45 minutes of brisk walking. And I have, there's this man that does it there, and he is just like this gray, sleek man. He just goes along. He probably has a 6-mile per hour fast walking clip. He looks great. Looks like he winters in Florida, because when people have a back of the neck kind of tan and they're all trim, I kind of think that they have a place to go every single day. And he just has that look that he takes care of his health, and he's probably 10 years older than how he looks. And so I kind of try to get behind him and pace. Like I've heard some people on those the cyclists do. They kind of get behind one of the fast cyclers, and they kind of do it for as long as they can to kind of get a little bit faster. And so I kind of get behind him. But I'm telling you, his stride is just, he's really, I like to watch that, just that smooth, sleek, paced walk. It's something. And so then that will be part of it. I will have my eggs with cheese and a sweet Italian Di Luigi organic sausage for lunch. Stop me if you've heard this. And then for dinner, the wild-caught salmon, the organic green beans, and a small salad on the side. I love my keto under 20. It's working. And so I'm here to say that routine is a wonderful thing for a lot of us. And I did my 4 overnights in a row, and I kind of feel like the cortisol from working overnight and having some rather unbehaved prisoners kind of worked on my cortisol stress thing. So I kind of feel like it's kind of emptying out of my body, and that the physical exercise of the brisk walking is a way to help me get back to that normal feeling. And, it happens at times. The final night of the 4 was relatively quiet, lots of bookings still, but quiet as far as the bad behavior. So I will regulate for the next few days till my 2 shifts start again. That was a very rare opportunity to do 4 shifts in a row because of the holiday weekend. And so anyway, it's just interesting to feel my body with I can feel it inside of me, the leftover stress that I have to work through. And I remember it working in the shelter too, when there were some rather unbehaved female clients. I know, you're as shocked as I am. And so, yeah, so cortisol to me is I know they say you need it, but maybe not to the extent that I got it in my overnights. And so, and in listening to Diane's live podcast from last night, she was talking about the hangover from imbibing too much. And because it was live, she was reading a lot of the comments on Facebook and YouTube. People that drank too much, ate too much sugar, had way too many carbs, and how they were handling it. And obviously, her YouTube channel is intermittent fasting for aging women, so her cure is definitely intermittent fasting with no calories whatsoever. And I have a bulletproof coffee in the morning, and it clocks out at 165 calories. So it's not the bulletproof coffee with 300 to 500 calories. And I'm having it at 3 in the morning, and then my first meal in an ideal situation will be at 11 o'clock in the morning. And so there are lots of hours because my last meal was usually at 4 the day before. So 4 to 4 is 12 plus the 7. So that is 19 hours with only a bulletproof coffee inside of me. I lean on Dr. Fung when he says I see nothing wrong with having bulletproof coffees during your fast. It's just called a fat fast. And that works for me. I couldn't get up at 3 in the morning and just have water till 11 in the morning because I would have a human body part from snapping at somebody. And so there are calories in that, I'm sure. And it's high protein, right? So finding your nice little comfort zone with what you do to burn off excess stress. Maybe you overindulged over the weekend like most of her commenters did. And she just keeps talking about the intermittent fasting and adding those hours. And hey, if you've made it to 20, go to 24. Well, I tried to do the 1 meal a day, and it was too triggering up here. So I have my 2 meals a day, and it's perfect to have a 4-hour window. So to eat my first meal at 11 and my final meal at 3, it is absolutely perfect. Does it happen all the time? No. But the worst of intermittent fasting hours is 18 for me, to go from 3 in the morning till 9 in the morning, and that's usually on the morning that I would go out to eat. So that is an 18-hour fat fast. And but it really does give a chance to just empty out everything. Just empty out, the stress, the carbs, the sugar, the indulging, and and I love that feeling. And I think I kind of remember it before I was like conscious of doing intermittent fasting. I didn't know it had a name until I heard the name, and then it's like, oh, okay. And then I could do research on it, and of course, Dr. Fung's obesity code was so key for me. Can't find it. I thought it was like right here. And was so key for me in understanding that. And it just gives your body a time out. And your body does so much healing when you're not eating, when you're not spiking your insulin. And Dr. Burgess had quite a few podcasts recently, and he's showing, they look like waves, and the up one is when you have something to eat, when you have something that spikes your insulin. And so when you're having 3 meals a day with 3 snacks, there's clearly 6 spikes on that little ocean of waves, and how to cut back. And, to go from the 3 meals with 3 snacks to 3 meals is his goal. And he has people slowly walking into intermittent fasting by giving up the snacks, the no snacking ever. And that's how Dr. Fung says it. No snacks ever, period, none, or something like that. It's at the end of one of his chapters with a period after each thing. And I get it, Dr. Fung, okay? And then, so giving up the snacks, then you're down to those 3 insulin spikes, right? And fat does not spike it. So when I have my bulletproof coffee, I'm not spiking insulin reaction. And so then to go from the 3 to the 2. And for some, it's going from the 2 to the 1. And then for some, it is closing the feeding window down. And so some people get on the other side of doing this, slowly walking into their perfect recipe for how it works for them with intermittent fasting and for how long, and they feel great. And a lot of the symptoms of their former standard American diet, with the health concerns that come along with it, slowly begin to get eliminated. And isn't that a wonderful feeling? So just to piggyback onto what Diane was saying, if you had a weekend, if this was your first weekend of trying to do keto under 20 in an environment that is not conducive to keto under 20, and you imbibed, hopefully the hours that you didn't eat, you really became, like, okay, I got to pay the piper someplace for this, all right? And even though I'm taping this on Wednesday, and the holiday was 2 days ago, yesterday on Tuesday, you might have had a food hangover. You might have had an emotional withdrawal, a sugar withdrawal, a carb withdrawal. You might have. And so you were in no shape to really work on something that kind of paid the piper. You were paying the piper with the hangover and the withdrawal part, but not the piper in the sense of giving your body a break with nothing added to it. And so her suggestion was just to do an intermittent fasting, water only, no calories, for just a longer period than you would have. And if you're not used to your keto under 20 and it was your first weekend, yes, it's very hard. Yes, a lot of people don't make it through without having something. And so there is a price to pay. You might be thrown out of ketosis. You might have the hangover. You might make a second day of it or a third day of it, which really can throw your whole body off. And the addict gets in front of that steering wheel and starts making the demands and driving the show. And you had a circus that was quite contained, and the circus left with all of that food that you might have had, and there you are with cleaning up the trash that's left from all the circus people as they move on to another town. And so you could take this as an opportunity to see how you did with the old foods that were your favorites, the old familiar comfort foods that you thought you were entitled to and deserved, with the standard American diet, and you will say, whoa, Nellie, whoa, ho, ho, Nellie, I no want no more. And so when this next 5 or 6 or god-awful how many day holiday of the 4th of July comes along, you will have better, sharper tools in your tool kit. And get the tool belt. So it's right there, not a toolkit that you can leave at home when you go to these parties or gatherings. No, the toolkit that you put right around your waist. And all of those things, you begin to practice no thank you. Maybe you bring as your contribution to the party foods that are keto friendly, so you don't have to sit there and wah, there's nothing I can have. Well, if you brought things that you could have, then we wouldn't be talking about this, right? So you will take care of yourself. Maybe a cheese roll-up platter, maybe some veggies with a blue cheese dip. I don't know, whatever it is that you could bring along that keep you away from the other things. And one person commented, and she was very wise and very filled with wisdom, and she said, I look at these holidays as a keto place to go because you've got the grill, all the things that are done on the grill. You don't have to go over to the, the table that has all of the yucky salads like, whatever those things are, potato salad and coleslaw and all these dubious ingredient things that other people make. No, you could just move into have the grill master be your best friend. And you have to overdo it on protein. Well, there's worse things, right? There are worse things, especially at the end of these gatherings when they pull out those 3 items to make that little sandwichy thing that, this little piggy would be quite first in line for. So, you can learn your lessons from this past weekend, or you can pat yourself on the back for doing a great job at the first major outside food event of the summer. And you can learn your lessons. You can try to go without eating for a longer period of time to just kind of heal your body from all that excess carbs and sugars that are zooming around inside of you. It is not a way of life anymore. Remember that. That way of eating you left behind with the standard American diet. And so the keto way of eating is keto under 20. So know what you're going to have when you go to these places and stick with it. You can do it. And make sure you have enough sparkling water or whatever it is that you can have as a liquid beverage that keeps you, once you've had your meal, that's it. Bye-bye. It's a wrap. And then your eyes can come up from the buffet table up to meeting people's eyes and actually having real conversations. Because trust me, I never did. I was too busy looking at what I wanted next. Or I would have the desserts first and make that thing. Life's too short to not have dessert first. Yeah, I was a pig eater. Have a wonderful day. This has been Sarah, Pearls of Wisdom and Food with Keto Under 20. I'm doing it. Are you coming? Thanks for watching. Bye-bye for now.